Hello and good day, everyone. This is Hidayat Ali. I hope I'm audible and my screen is visible as well. It's a pleasure to have you all for the Sales and Distribution Automation webinar. First things first, let me introduce you to our esteemed speaker for the day and agenda of the program. So before I diverge upon the agenda, let me take a moment to introduce to our esteemed speakers for today's webinar. We have with us today a couple of experienced and experts in their own fields, that is cloud and enterprise mobility. So we have with us Mohamed Majid, who is a cloud solution specialist at Microsoft with more than 8 years of experience across various industries, with hands-on experience and cloud certifications. He has been at the forefront of driving change by engaging with business leaders, discovering their businesses' challenges, and helping them to transform those challenges into competitive advantage. Our second guest for the day is Mr. Arsalan Ahmed, who is seasoned professional and technologist at heart with more than a decade of experience in delivering cutting-edge solutions to a multitude of businesses in consumer goods companies as well as financial sector. He is the product owner of TMX-SD platform that has transformed the sales and distribution landscape of many large businesses like Nestle, PepsiCo, and Unilever. So here is the agenda for today. Mr. Majid from Microsoft will walk us through the role of Microsoft in the sales and distribution space and how TMX-SD can power your sales and distribution by leveraging Microsoft Azure platform as a service. That will be followed by Mr. Arsalan walking us through the journey of a couple of customers of TMX and how TMX sales and distribution platform has transformed their sales and distribution landscape. So we'll also be having a question and answer session. We have devoted 5 to 10 minutes. So feel free if you have any questions, you may inbox us. So I'll be taking those up at the end of the session. So before I move it to Mr. Majid, I would like to share a bit about the company, about Techlogix. So Techlogix was founded back in 1996 by two MIT graduates in Boston, USA. We have more than 20 plus years of experience of successful enterprise applications deployments. We have 12 million plus in top line. We have a team of around 350 plus professional consultants worldwide, and we have 200 plus clients served across the globe. On top of that, we are Gold Microsoft partner for the cloud platform. We are using Microsoft Azure platform as a service to deliver all our enterprise level applications. Moving forward, this is a bit about the vertical or the company that we are having this webinar today. So TLX Mobility is a subsidiary of Techlogix that was founded 5 years ago. But TLX Mobility does have a legacy of 10 years plus working with the large enterprises like Nestle and streamlining their sales and distribution landscape with the help of technology. So why we created a separate company, because with the proliferation of mobile technology, 3G, 4G, and mobile devices, so it was pertinent to integrate this into the sales and distribution to maximize to get the maximized benefits. So this company is 100% focused on enterprise mobility, sales and distribution platform. We have a dedicated team of more than 65 resources who are working to enrich the platform. And about the locations, we are headquartered in US. Our US Boston office is in Boston. And then we have regional office in Dubai that caters to our Middle East and African market. And then on top of that, we have our 3 technology centers or development centers in Pakistan. Here is the list of our customers that pretty much sums up the scalability, flexibility, and fluidity of the TMX-SD platform. We have a mix of slow and fast mover consumer goods companies like Nokia, Unilever, Berg, Volca Foods, PepsiCo that demonstrate the versatility of TMX platform as well as in terms of features and capability. Without further ado, I will hand it over to Mr. Majid to share his thoughts as discussed. Over to you, Majid. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Hidayat. Okay, so thanks everyone for joining. So now I'll walk you through what would be the power of combining TMX to Microsoft Azure as a hosting platform, and how would this give you like the availability, the scalability, and how agile it is to combine those solutions together. So if we start basically by walking through the different hosting models. So as you can see here, if we are talking about the traditional on-premises deployment, so in this case, as your organization will be managing all of the layers in terms of infrastructure, in terms of networking, storage, and servers, and you will definitely need your IT teams to spend a lot of time in configuring those servers, do all of the network configuration and so on, and to avail the needed storage and needed specifications. At any point in time, if we specifically we're talking about the sales and distribution, so you need that kind of agility. You need scalable infrastructure at maybe some seasons that the traffic would be and the orders would be so much high, and you don't want to have like underutilized servers by spending so much like money and so much like efforts, and those resources are not really utilized. So you need that kind of optimization in terms of cost, in terms of efforts, of course. If we move further to the cloud models, so if we're talking about Azure as an infrastructure model, this would be like a further layer where Microsoft will be managing the underlying layer of infrastructure. So you have like only to choose the server specification in terms of cores, RAM, needed storage, and then you will be having the full control of managing the operating system by doing the patching, doing the updates and so on, and definitely you will have the complete control over your application as well. If we're talking specifically about like the platform as a service that TMX is leveraging, so by this you'll be having like a more modernized model of doing so. So here TMX is leveraging Azure App Service, which is Microsoft's platform as a service offering. And the idea behind that all of those layers, starting from the infrastructure itself, from the virtualization, operating system, whether this operating system is Windows-based or Linux-based, the runtime and so on, and what TMX or Techlogix team only needs to do would be focusing on the application and data side and to publish this code on this ready-made platform, which is definitely have like the built-in security capabilities. All of the encryption is in place. You can like your application is backed up automatically. And this will give like Techlogix team the ability to focus on the application itself by adding more features. The time to market of the new releases and so on would be so much accelerated. And this would really give the value of, as we said, the availability backed up by the SLAs, the scalability. So at any point in time, this could be scaled out horizontally to cater for any additional traffic at the specific seasons and so on. Here, if we move further to the software as a service model, so here basically what TMX is offering you as a software as a service, a SaaS model, where you don't need to take care of any like administrative tasks. You have like a ready-made solution which is ready to be used and leveraged, and this would really accelerate, like as we've said, the time to market and give you the productivity needed for your sales agents to enhance the sales and distribution cycle in that essence. If we move forward, so why specifically Microsoft Azure? What would be the power of it? So one of the main things is that Microsoft Azure has one of the largest, if not the largest, footprint across the globe in terms of availability and data centers. So you see here that there are tens of data centers across the globe, whether we're talking in the US, in Europe, even Middle East and Africa, by the recent data centers of UAE being generally available, even South Africa and so on. So it's really a crucial thing where you can have the flexibility to choose where your application would be hosted. And even this would be, you can definitely choose where this will be hosted to become as much close as you want to your users. So if you have different branches across different regions, you can do like host the application and have this load balancing between the different tenants to make sure that it's closest to your users, to make sure that you're given the highest performance and decrease the latency as much as possible. And this would give the users and your sales agents the best experience when using this TMX solution. And another thing on the availability part, so all of the regions have the availability zones concept. So it's basically that within the same region, we have multiple data centers where you can host your application, have multiple copies of your application to make sure that even in case of any failures on the data center, you still have your application available, and you can definitely make sure that everything is in place and you don't be impacted by any disruptions. Then one of the most critical points, of course, would be in terms of security and compliance. So as we know that for different industries, we must abide by some of the main compliance certificates, like the ISO, like the SOC, like the GDPR. So you need to make sure that the hosting platform that you would be having your solution or application hosted on would be abiding by or following those compliance standards to make sure that you're compliant, that everything is in place. So as you can see here, that Microsoft Azure and Microsoft Cloud would be having the largest compliance portfolio in terms of certificates, whether they are global, like the ISO, like the GDPR, like the SOC 1 and 2, even some which are government specific. So also, if we're talking about verticals, it would be industry specific as well, and even regional specific. So you can, it's available publicly, so you can go and check on the links what would be the compliance certificates that Microsoft Cloud has, and this will give you the comfort and the confidence to make sure that you're okay and you're definitely secured in terms of the auditing, the compliance, and so on. So moving forward, why Azure App Service in specific? So we've talked about different hosting models, whether it's infrastructure, app service, and app service, as we mentioned, it's the platform as a service offering of Microsoft Azure. And the good thing about it, it's like a ready-made platform that has built-in security capabilities, built-in backups. The availability is already there. So first, in terms of availability, you achieve the high availability. You make sure that your application is highly available with SLA backed up uptime, and this could reach up to 99.95% of SLA. Another thing would be the scalability. So as we've said, we have a couple of options of scalability. So at any point in time, if you see that you're growing and you're extending your solution to like more branches and more sales agents, so you can scale up your resources by increasing the hardware specs in terms of cores and RAMs. And we have another model of scalability, which is scaling horizontally. So scaling horizontally, if we're talking about like Black Friday or any seasonal spikes that you might anticipate, you can scale out by adding more instances of the same application. And this, the good thing or the main advantage of it, that you can configure auto scaling. So in terms of like specific triggers and specific metrics, for example, you configure auto scaling if the CPU has reached 80%, for example, for 10 or 15 minutes, and automatically another instance would be added. And at the same time, if this comes back, the traffic comes back to 25% of utilization, this automatically is deleted and you come back to the original specifications. Another thing which is really important is the security. So you can control traffic to be over HTTPS. You can configure your own or add your own certificates, and you can dig deep and do some granular restrictions in terms of network policies, allow some specific IPs to access your application, and so on. The last point that I want to highlight here would be Microsoft Azure Marketplace. So we have something like a marketplace which includes thousands of certified applications. So the thing is that they are ready-made images of different solutions, whether those solutions are Microsoft native or third-party solutions. And this really accelerates the time to market. So you don't need to like configure everything from scratch. You just choose based on your solution, whether it's a compute, it's networking, and so on. You click on that, and it would be automatically deployed on Azure, and it would be ready-made. You have the flexibility to do this kind of customizations, and you're good to go. And the good thing about that, TMX Sales and Distribution is one of the preferred solutions, as you can see here, for Microsoft Azure, and being a preferred solution. So this would make sure that we're working together with TMX team, and that this solution has been developed together, and Microsoft architects have been working with Techlogix team to make sure that this is built on the best practices, and you make sure that you have the confidence that this is really a preferred solution, whether from Techlogix or Microsoft end, and this would give you like the comfort and the confidence to go with it as a sales and distribution solution. So here this is me, and I'm handing over to Arsalan. So Arsalan, go ahead.
Hello everyone, I hope my screen is visible. Thank you Majid and Hidayat for such nice description of the Techlogix mobility and also how Microsoft is helping us in building the solution, and not only building but also ensuring that the state-of-the-art solution not only get developed but also implemented at multiple customers that we are doing and change the whole ecosystem for the sales and distribution market. I'll start with a brief introduction. Myself, Arsalan Ahmed. I'm the Director of Technical Services in Techlogix. I have more than 15 plus years of experience of working in supply chain and in the sales and distribution domain. I am the product owner of TMX-SD as well. The four items that I would like to discuss in today's session is I'll start with a couple of anchor customers from where we have started our journey and where are we with them right now. Then I'll give you guys a brief overview of the product. And then we will see quickly that why TMX is different from other competitors that are available in the market. And then I'll give you just a glimpse of the application and the solution that we have developed till now. Meanwhile, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to post them. I would love to answer them along with Majid once we have completed the demonstration part. Moving ahead with the customer journeys. So the two key anchor customers of TMX-SD are the Berg Corporation, who is the largest distributor of Nestle in Pakistan and now in Tanzania as well. And the second one is the HMD Global, the manufacturers of the Nokia. The journey with both these customers in TMX started around 5 years back when we started developing a sales and distribution solution for them. As you can see that both these customers belong to slightly different industrial domain, that is the distributor of Nestle and Unilever belongs to the fast-moving consumer goods. Nokia is more of a consumer electronics in which the mobile headphones or wireless sets comes in. So these two different diversifications enabled us that we should create a solution that is agnostic in terms of industry and agnostic in terms of the geography as well. As you could see that currently with Berg, we have more than 1,000 field agents working not only in Pakistan, but also in Tanzania. And similarly with Nokia, we were able to roll out the solution successfully in multiple countries, including Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Oman, and UAE. I'll go a bit deep into these, starting with Nokia, that we started with a very basic system solution that is, okay, we need an IMEI based tracking of each cellular device that they sell in Pakistan, starting from the journey with the principal, that is the Nokia, then going to the wholesalers, distributors, and the retailers as well. So when it comes to the distributors part and the wholesaler parts, we came across to the use case of order booking, that okay, there is a scenario of spot selling as well that we have to develop, and when we have to move ahead to the third part, that is more of the promoters application. The promoters are usually the human resources placed by Nokia at different franchises to enhance the sales by helping the retailers. Okay, so that is again the Android and iOS based application that is used by promoters for selling the mobile devices to the end consumers. And then comes the retailer application that is used by all the retail outlets in all these countries that I mentioned in my previous slide to ensure that sell out and sell in with returns, with activations, with warranties happen in that particular area. And then obviously the final part is the reporting, where all the consolidated reporting could be accessed by the Nokia and the distributors of Nokia to their only limited content to view that. Okay, so definitely these 5 years we started with Pakistan, we made this site as our anchor site, then we expanded in UAE, then we moved to Oman, Saudi Arabia, and still the journey goes on, and we are looking to expand this into other countries as well. The core features and as I described in Nokia were primarily the order booking and the tracking of the IMEI. But as we expanded into different geographies, we keep adding the features with respect to those geographies and started incorporating the nuances that we have experienced in different countries. So we enabled the spot selling. The journey plans is the core concept of the TMX-SD platform that already exists. We integrated with multiple third-party distributors with multiple channels, and as a result, the whole end-to-end digitization of the cycle from the retailer to the principal happens in Nokia in a duration of max of 2.5 years, where we started from Pakistan initially with 6 months and then keep adding countries. And as I shared, we are currently looking for expanding this solution to different countries with Nokia and Microsoft. Then the second key customer is the largest distributor of Nestle in Pakistan, that is Berk Corporation. So our journey with Berk again started around 5 years back, where they have initially implemented Oracle EBS, and we did the integration for them of our sales and distribution solution with Oracle EBS. And then during the time, they now have moved to the SAP for HANA, and we have done the integration for SAP HANA for them. The journey again started with the very key feature of ensuring that how we can achieve the error-free order booking. That's the goal that we have in mind that when we started our journey with Berk back in 2016. Then as the operations grows, as the productivity starts to improve, the next control came in the form of the supervised field operations by ensuring that not only the field agents who do the order booking or perform the spot selling, but also their supervisors could use the mobile application to ensure that, okay, all the operations in the field are going as per plan, and if there are any deviations, they have the right information to take actions accordingly. Then there are certain customized enhancements that we did for Berk as well, because as I shared that one of the key aspects of this journey is to start with Oracle EBS and then moving to the SAP part. Similarly, the real-time tracking is going a long way. That we initially started the real-time tracking on the web portal part, and then we have provided that onto the mobile applications as well, and not only the mobile applications of the agents so that they could perform the guided order booking and the deliveries, but also to the supervisors so they can track them as well. The key aspects of our implementation at Berk is they have more than 1,500 agents and more than 100 branches in countries. They have around 800 field agents doing only the order booking part, and then rest of the agents or the users who are using the application either for performing the deliveries or the merchandising activities, or the supervisors who ensures that the productivity and the sales achievement is going as per plan or not. Okay. we have been acknowledged by the CEO of work at multiple times as well. We initially started their journey with only the order booking part, as I explained, and now we have doing the transformation for them from the Oracle EBS to SAP for HANA that is recently going to complete it. I'll move to the second part, product overview. And meanwhile, if you guys have any queries, questions related to the previous section, you can post it and I'll address it in the next part. So what is TMX-SD? The TMX-SD platform is a new way of doing business in a sense that you do not have to wait for the right information to take certain actions. You have the real-time data available, converted by the platform into the information that you can use to take timely decisions. How it could be achieved? It is achieved by providing the insights and visibility into the very first step, that is the journey plans or that field agents has to follow. The second part, definitely with respect to tracking that, okay, whatever plan has been defined, it does not only have to be optimized, but it also have to be monitored and tracked so that it could be further refined as we experience different changes into the retail universe. Similarly, no fake orders, no inaccurate orders, by ensuring that the order has to be placed when the user or the field agent is actually present at the customer's location. Then when this key information in terms of orders, in terms of journey plans, in terms of customers, accurately validating the promotions that have been applied came in, through the SD platform, our analytics and reporting convert that data into the information and then make it available for the decision makers. That information not only helps in the optimization of the different processes, ensuring the high productivity, but also helps in improving the overall service quality. The customer profiling that we did in our platform helps in optimizing the order booking and delivery times. Similarly, the approval processes that we have with the workflow engine helps in ensuring that, okay, a control is over there as well. And then with the retailer application, our customers or their franchises are enabled to place the order at any time or raise any particular issue or concern at any time and be informed about the latest promotions as they have become enabled into the system. So what constitutes this key platform? So we have four major pillars based on which we have developed this whole platform. The first thing in mind is the mobility, to maximize the usage and the information that we could get from the mobile applications. Cloud, definitely, if you want to ensure that you could manage the peaks, especially in the FMCG industry, you need to have it on the cloud so that, as Majid was explaining, we could increase or decrease the infrastructure as required without facing any hindrances. Then the portal for the information and the decision makers, equipped with analytics, again powered by Microsoft Power, that helps us in giving the complete 360 view of this. Now these four pillars helped us in building the platform, but in order to operate it in a smooth way, definitely we need few more elements that we gathered by ensuring that our user experience should be flexible enough so that users can adopt it very easily. And the implementation should be simple enough so that anyone who is even sitting at a remote country can easily do that and start using the system as they want to. And then when dealing with the large enterprises, definitely there are ERPs that we have to integrate with. So we have developed the different connectors for integration, not only for SAP, but also for Oracle EBS and Microsoft Dynamics as well, so that data could be pushed back and pulled from these ERPs in a near real-time basis as well. Moving ahead, so the overall stakeholders that we felt at a very high level are three key parties that were involved in the secondary sales chain. The first stakeholder, you could say, is the field agent that is visiting at the shop. The second key holder is the distributor. Field agent could be the employee of the distributor as well, or could be the person who is appointed for doing the order booking. And the third one is the principal. If these three stakeholders are aligned to ensure that the secondary sales should be streamlined and effective, then the customers are always there to ensure that the process went smooth and they could make the most out of this whole solution. So if I talk briefly about the core features of the agent application or the field application, then as per any standard solution, we ensure that we have the flows of order booking, market returns and replacements, along with real-time enablement of the trade offers and promotions. But these two options, not only that, okay, in a disconnected mode, that you do it in the morning and then you work totally in offline and you don't know what's happening at the back end in your inventory, whether you have certain new trade offers available or not, but rather doing it in a real-time basis in a very usable and highly interactive application that will not only capture the information but also provide you the right information to take the right steps. Sales order management and trade offers, when combined in the TMX-SD, it becomes the guided order booking. So that now when the field agents visits the retail shop or any store, they have the options to see and recommend that, okay, these are the products that must be bought by the customer because of XYZ reasons that were shared. Similarly, the order booking application guide the field agent which particular route they have to take, and the application guides the field agent to inform the right trade offers so that the customer can maximize its profit and gain its trust. Definitely, at the same time, we want the reflection of the backend processes as well. For that, we have inventory management and the invoices and collections to ensure that all the processes will go in a smooth way. Moving ahead, the core features that enabled in the field agent applications were the agent location tracking, and not only from the perspective of capturing their location, but telling them at the very moment that, okay, this is the most optimized route that you have to take, how much time you have actually spent in a particular shop, what is the transit time that has been taken from one place to another place, and then sorry about that. And then with the geotagging features, further controls can be ensured to validate that, okay, if deliveries are performed, then those deliveries have the right proof of delivery attached to them as well. If any particular merchandising activity has been performed, then that merchandising activity has the right assets attached to it to validate the facts that has been mentioned in that information. Journey plans, as we discussed, and then that all data converted into information for the head office or the branch users in the forms of analytics and dashboards. Another important feature that we have developed in the TMX-SD platform is the surveys. Surveys enable you to capture different market insights about the competitors, about your current workforce, about the quality checks, and how well or badly the sales team is performing into the actual field. It is a highly customized feature where you could have your own set of questionnaire and responses, and with the basics, with the templates available that have pre-configured questionnaire that you could apply in few minutes to your sales field operations, and they could make most of it. The portal agent management is definitely another highlighting features in an aspect that not only the planned path, but you will be able to view the actual path that has been followed, how much time has been spent, and how it maps to the optimization part and what next could be achieved from this. Then we have few advanced features in TMX-SD. That is the retailer application or the push model. I'll give a brief walkthrough of this application as well. Route optimization, as we discussed, that it is not only optimizing the route based on the actual path or the planned path, but there are a number of parameters that we have ingested in our machine learning model to predict that, okay, what could be the next step path for the future paths. And in real field operations, we took the real-time traffic feeds as well, and then guide the field agents that, okay, which should be the optimized path for them for doing this. Another advanced feature that is mostly used by Unilever is claim management. It ensures the cash flows in the whole sales cycle, in the whole secondary sales cycle will be quick and smooth enough, so our retailers should have enough appetite to buy more goods and purchases. So again, not only a manual process or a tedious thing that, okay, someone has to fill in physical forms or a form on the system. Rather, based on the claims, we use the on-invoice and off-invoice claims both to ensure that the claims processing cycles should reduce from multiple days to few hours. And we were able to successfully achieve that for our customer Unilever. Merchandising as different planograms, different assets tracking, assets requirements, all that is there. Not only that, but with the capabilities to ensure that, okay, if any particular assets needs to be placed at any retailer, then what will be the dimensions, how we can fit it in, whether the right asset should be assigned to with respect to dimensions or not. Order deliveries to ensure that both order bookers and delivery persons could work independently without any collaboration by totally depending on the systems, so that they do not have to wait for one's response to address it. And then ensuring that we have the right proof of deliveries, we have the right payments collections, we have the deposits that has been done into the different banks that has been done. And then if there are certain geographies where we encounter the concept of handling and sub-distributors as well, so we incorporated that into also the TMX-SD platform. Okay, I'll take a brief overview of the three key features that we discussed, that is the retailer application and the route optimization, and then I'll jump to the key differentiators part. Okay, so the retailer application's key aspect is that it is totally white labeled application. Means your customer is using the application of the principal or the distributor who is the actual customer of TMX-SD platform. They won't be saying that we are using the TMX-SD application. They will be using the Nokia application or the Nestle's application or the Unilever application. Okay, that's the very first aspect. What it drives the customer's loyalty and recognition of the brand. Definitely, retailers don't know what is TMX-SD, but they are your customers from multiple layers, and having a confidence that okay, they are using the Buds application or they are using the Nokia's application or Unilever's application, give them more confidence that okay, this order placement, these promotions have more loyalty towards the brand that they are placing orders with and more recognition. Definitely the key aspects of this retailer application is to ensure that the retailer do not have to wait for the field agent to come over and then place the order. Rather, they can place the order at any time from any location. They will have the access to the most recently applied trade offers and promotions. And with that, there is a loyalty system or a loyalty points mechanism also attached that you could use to further increase their loyalty by giving them certain incentives on gifts on reaching certain points. This enables us to improve not only the order tracking and the customer service, but also help in increasing the overall sales cycle dramatically. So at the same time, when any retailer will be placing the order, that order will be reflected immediately into the back office portal, and if it needs to be processed through ERP, it went to that particular part as well. The key aspect is you save the expense of sending the field agent, or rather reduced it if not completely override it or completely write it off. You increase the revenue, you increase the customer service, you have the you have provided the leverage to your retailer that they can place order at any particular time and at any particular point. And you do not have to think it in a perspective that, okay, we will get only new retailers, but the application has the capabilities to enable it for your existing retailer universe by fetching the existing information and making it enabled for the existing universe as well, so they can leverage it also. Moving to the second aspect, that is the route optimization part. We have done route optimization on multiple parameters. The few key aspects that I've highlighted over here are the sales channel, geography, role-based. Similarly, as I mentioned, we could do the on-field optimization as well using the Google Directions API or the predefined configurations. Here is a brief overview that, okay, on the mobile application, the field agent is looking at a particular path and following it in this particular area. They could see the customers over here. And similarly, at the same time, the head office or the branch is monitoring the activities of the field agent in a real-time basis. The claim management part, as I discussed, to ensure multiple types of claims, whether these are on-invoice claims that got triggered from the trade offers or promotions or the off-invoice claims, both can be catered into the system. Then TMX-SD has the built-in claim approval workflow as well, or the workflow engine that you could use for multiple scenarios. Talking about the key differentiators very quickly, the first one is the pre-integrated with ERPs. So we have the pull and push mechanism both for the connectors. We have the connectors for SAP, Oracle, and Microsoft Dynamics that could be used for this. Then the machine learning and AI. We have the machine learning model that we have applied till now for obtaining three parts. The first one is the order suggestions, so that we could suggest based on the trend and frequency what will be the top 10 SKUs that needs to be sold in the next quarter. Then the must sell part. Okay, these are the must bought part, as you said, from the customer's perspective, and the suggested quantity part, that okay, what needs to be bought and how much needs to be bought. So not only the SKU, but also the quantity will be suggested in this particular scenario. Then we have the real-time dashboards, sales targets, field agents, booking versus execution, and customer productivity. I'll give a brief overview of these as well in the moving ahead. So sales dashboards will enable you to view the sales from the different dimensions, from customer channel, from product, from location. You can definitely drill down. You could have the sales with respect to product and top line analysis. This is again powered by Microsoft Power BI. That's what it's running at the back end. You have the sales targets where you could view the achievements. You could view the brand-wise targets, achievements, and the distributors. Then we have the real-time monitoring rooms as well. That's pretty interesting for the area sales managers or the region sales managers, so they could view that how much compliance has been ensured into the market and what actually is happening in the market today. Okay, so this is automatically updated monitoring room dashboard that you could place on LED and view that okay, how much sales has been completed, when the day has been started, how much amounts of orders has been collected till now. Okay, so the last part is the cloud-based offerings. Is that there are four key aspects that you need to consider whenever you are going for any solution. And especially when it comes to the comparison between the on-premise and the cloud. In the cloud, you will always be paying only for what you have used for. So it's mostly pay as you go model. Apologies for that. Pay as you go model. And for that, if you use it, you will pay it. If you don't use it, you won't pay it. Similarly, what helps the customer in this is that they will be able to reduce the operational cost in this scenario. That they don't need to invest heavily on the infrastructure part. They don't need to invest heavily for the team who will be maintaining that infrastructure, the IT, the network. Those hassles will reduce drastically because all you need is the active internet connection and the mobile device to use the application. Then we are offering the automatic upgrades, not only on the technology part that is powered by Microsoft, but also the technology upgrades, feature upgrades in terms of the application as well. And then the key aspect is the variable load management. You have the capacity to increase or decrease your loads as you experience the peaks. So if on a certain day you will get 10 times more orders, you don't have to worry about your application, whether they can sustain it or not. The cloud will take care of it, the Microsoft will take care of it, we will take care of it, and it will be smooth. So here's a quick summary that your efficiency gets improved, your collections will become efficient, there will be a quick completion of tasks, and definitely there is a 360 view of the business that you could take into. Okay, I'll jump quickly to a very 2 minutes demo, and then we will move to the Q&A session. I would love to answer those. Let me just share my mobile screen so you can see that. Okay, so can you guys see my screen? And I hope this is visible. This is the retailer application that is currently open. Again, as I shared, that it is highly white labeled application. You could not see TMX-SD anywhere over it. It is the one of our tenants, the retail partner was using it. They are the retail benefits for this. So if I logged in with the customer, I have the option to switch between multiple languages as well. I could have the options of doing the different branding, different marketing. I could have multiple categories, brands that I could see over here, and using those, I could do the order booking in the real-time basis that, okay, these are the goods that needs to be that I needed. I could place an order from here by providing the quantity in a real-time basis, and it moves forward for the order booking part. Similarly, I have the options available to place certain issues or raise concerns directly on the WhatsApp as well. So WhatsApp is enabled on that, using which you could shift to the WhatsApp part, and a bot will help you out over there to address these issues. Then similarly, we have the phone and the SMS capabilities, the real-time notifications, orders that have been placed. Retailers can track those, that okay, which orders have been placed, whether they are confirmed or not, whether they have been successfully placed or not. So that information is also there. Similarly, again, as I explained, it's white labeled application. So very minor inside you could find, okay, this is TMX-SD. Otherwise, this is the retail partner application used by any of the customers. And that ensures the loyalty part for those as well. That's the key aspect of that. I'll take one more minute before we jump to the actual Q&A session. That is by showing the dashboards that we have, and then we could move to the actual Q&A part for this particular scenario. Okay, so let me just open up and share my screen. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Not really. I can just see you, and that's it. Yeah, now it's visible.
Okay, great. Okay, so this is the dashboard with respect to the target analysis and customers that you could look into it. We have the multiple KPIs already developed, like percentage achievement, target achievement by location. As I explained, it is powered by Microsoft Power BI. So you could have a look at it on the Power BI part as well. This is the detailed application menu that is available on the right part. We have the brand wise target achievement KPI that could be further drilled down into that. Okay, what are the different levels of this particular information? I could go into a trend-based analysis as well. I could look into the different customers aspects also on this. That okay, what will be the productivity? What are the key pre-booking trends for that? I could have multiple filters available that I could apply to customize the analysis as per my own needs. And similarly, we have the PGP based analysis also on the same scenario that we could look into. And then the customer count, customer booking versus execution. There are multiple things that one could look into and drive the right level of information. And definitely once we do the implementation for you, we customize these things further so that the right information should be visible into the right aspect immediately for that particular part. So that's pretty much from the application side. I'll move to the question and answer session. I would love to answer if there are any queries. I have Hidayat and Majid with me available as well.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Arsalan, for the detailed walkthrough and walking us through the customer journey, capability of the TMX platform, and along with that, a little demo as well. So we have very interesting questions in the lineup. So in the interest of time, I'll just try to blend a couple of questions, and then maybe we have more questions related to TMX. So the first question would be that I'm just trying to rephrase it. How much flexible TMX-SD is with respect to pricing, like for in terms of batch management, and what it has to offer other than pricing flexibility on the supervisor app that supervisors can monitor the field agents?
Okay. So I'll address the first part, that is the price management. So application has the price list management with respect to batch wise tracking of it. So for a same product having different batches, you could define the different price list for those, and those price lists will be applicable as per the policy that you have defined into the system. And those will definitely get auto-induct into the nature of sales that you are doing. Like if you are doing the primary ordering, there will be a different price that you could apply to them. You could have a different price with respect to distributor, with respect to location, and definitely with respect to batch as well, so that the inventories will be managed with respect to the batch-wise pricing that is maintained to the system. With respect to the monitoring of the supervisor app, yes, there are pre-built templates for the work with as well, where a particular agent will be accompanied by the supervisor for doing the work with surveys. It fetches certain information, generates KPIs for that. So yes, that particular work with scenario is also present into this.
Okay, sounds great. So we have another interesting question, and that is how TMX can be used as a centralized platform for both agent and van sales and retailer orders coming from maybe different sources. So that can have a centralized view of all the orders that are for the day and related deliveries as well.
Okay, that's a really interesting question. Because what we have done is we have developed TMX-SD in an open API architecture, or you could say an architecture where it could link with any of the external systems that are available. So we could integrate with the external systems, not only for pushing the orders, but also receiving the orders from there as well. Have the visibility in the TMX-SD part, get the information part processed as the TMX-SD end, and then make it available to the second or the next level information also. So you could have the orders getting generated from some other channel. Those could be diverted to the TMX. TMX will do the further processing on these orders, maybe the inventory checking or the invoicing that they want to do over there. And once that part has been done, the order could be pushed into your ERP system or could reside within the TMX as well. So it has the APIs available that could be used for integration with any third-party system.
Okay, that's cool. So this is one last question. Probably will not be able to answer a couple of questions more, but so the question is it possible to combine survey results with route optimization to detect or set a production plan?
Definitely, it will depend upon the questionnaire that has been set into the survey. And if that questionnaire has the relevant information, it could be feed into our ML model for doing the route optimization, or could be used in the statistical model to further optimize the route. So both possibilities exist in the TMX-SD platform.
So that concludes our session. So thank you so much, Arsalan, for your time, and thank you so much, Majid, for your time and thoughts. And none the least, thank you so much all the audience for joining us. Before winding it up, all the webinar recording will be shared to all the registered participants and the audience as well. And all the related collateral will also be sent to you. So if you have any queries, you may feel free to write to us using sales@tlxmobility.com. And we will look forward to a worthwhile engagement with you. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.